What if Marvel isn't just setting up Sentry and the Thunderbolts to fight the team, but actually to battle Thor, the OG god of thunder? It makes sense, right? After all, Love and Thunder faced a lot of backlash, and Thor needs a strong comeback with some real action and a solid storyline. But here's the catch: Love and Thunder already set up the perfect villain for Thor 5. The mid credit scene introduced Brett Goldstein as Hercules, Zeus's son, which basically laid the groundwork for an epic showdown. But now everything has changed because Sentry, aka Bob, is in the picture. So, what does that mean for Thor 5? Let's break down what we know and what could be coming next. If Sentry is truly being set up in Thunderbolts to go toe to toe with Thor instead of the team, then Thor 5 might be heading towards something huge, maybe even a full on siege adaptation. While Secret Invasion may not have been a massive hit, it did one thing right. It set the stage for a war against aliens on Earth. The US president even declared open season on non humans, and that includes Asgardians, since New Asgard is literally on Earth. If people start hunting Skrulls, it's only a matter of time before Asgardians become targets too. In the comics, Siege is all about Norman Osborn leading an attack on Asgard. With how things are shaping up, the ECU could be building toward a version of that storyline. Let's talk about Chris Hemsworth. He knows Love and Thunder wasn't exactly what fans wanted. In an interview with Vanity Fair, he admitted he feels like he owes the audience a better Thor movie. So if Thor 5 happens, they'll want to go all out. And what better way than giving him a real threat? Enter Sentry. In the comics, Sentry was Osborn's ultimate weapon when they attacked Asgard. The MCU doesn't have Osborn yet, but it does have Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine, who's pulling the strings behind the Thunderbolts. If she's controlling Sentry, we could see Siege play out in a whole new way, with Thor fighting to defend New Asgard from an all-powerful, unstable force. Honestly, that's exactly what Thor needs right now. Serious action, not just jokes. Sentry, especially with his dark side, the Void, is no joke. In the comics, he wiped out millions. If Marvel really leans into that, Sentry could be the most terrifying villain Thor has ever faced, and Thor 5 might just be the high stakes, action packed comeback the God of Thunder deserves. If Thor 5 is leaning towards Sentry as the main villain, there are a few comic storylines where Thor and Sentry clash that Marvel could draw from, especially considering recent MCU events. One big one is Siege, which we already touched on. Another is World War Hulk. Now, you might be wondering, what does Hulk have to do with this? Well, in the comics, when Hulk returns to Earth for revenge, he takes down almost every hero in his way, with Sentry being the last line of defense. Their fight is one of the most intense in Marvel Comics. Thor isn't part of that particular showdown, but imagine if the MCU tweaks things so Thor 5 follows a similar structure, with Sentry going berserk and Thor being the one who has to stop him. Given that the MCU's already introduced the idea of Hulk's son, Scar, in She-Hulk, a World War Hulk-style event could be on the horizon. If that happens, Sentry's role could be repurposed for Thor 5, making him Thor's next big opponent. Big opponent. Another key comic that could inspire Thor 5 is the Void Saga. This storyline dives deep into Sentry's dark alter ego, the Void, which could be a terrifying element for the MCU. We've seen how powerful Thor can be when he's at full strength. Infinity War showed that with Stormbreaker, but he's never faced an opponent like Sentry who has reality warping abilities. If Thor 5 explores the Void's full destructive potential, Thor could be pushed to his absolute limits, forced to either defeat or redeem Sentry before everything is destroyed. Recent MCU events also open the door for something like the death of the Sentry. In this storyline, Thor is forced to kill Sentry when he becomes too dangerous. With all the destruction Sentry could cause in Thunderbolts and beyond, the MCU might follow a similar path, positioning Thor as the only one strong enough to take him down. If Marvel really wants to give Thor a proper send-off or make Thor 5 feel like a major turning point, having Thor face a tragic no-win battle against Sentry could be the way to go. With all these potential influences, Thor 5 could end up being one of the darkest and most action-packed Thor movies yet. something that would definitely make up for love and thunder and give Thor the legendary fight he deserved. Sentry's introduction to the MCU could mark a turning point for Thor 5, allowing Marvel to explore a darker, more dramatic side of Thor while still keeping elements of his humor. The setup from Secret Invasion already hints at a siege-like event, which, if carried out in Thor 5, could pit Thor against one of his most formidable foes yet. The presence of Sentry, possibly manipulated by Valentina and the Thunderbolts, could lead to a devastating conflict that challenges Thor both physically and emotionally. This approach could also serve as the perfect opportunity to restore Thor's balance between comedy and drama, avoiding the tonal missteps of Thor, Love, and Thunder. Luckily, Marvel doesn't need to reinvent Thor to achieve this. The best version of the character has already been showcased in previous films. While Thor, The Dark World wasn't the most well-received entry, it still presented a compelling version of Thor, retaining his regal and powerful demeanor while introducing natural comedic elements. Unlike Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, which leaned heavily into humor, The Dark World felt more grounded, allowing Thor to exhibit both emotional depth and strength. Bringing this iteration back in Thor 5 would help recapture the essence of the character that resonated with audiences. Avengers: Infinity War first refined this balance, giving Thor some of his most iconic moments. The Russo brothers preserved the character's humorous side without overshadowing his dramatic potential, with powerful scenes like his journey to forge Stormbreaker and his devastating confrontation with Thanos. And these moments prove that Thor shines when his humor is used sparingly and his emotional weight is fully realized. Thor 5 has the chance to continue this trajectory by presenting a story that challenges Thor on multiple levels, whether through Hercules' vendetta or Sentry's unstoppable force. Marvel now has the perfect chance to get Thor right after years of tonal shifts. His best moments often come when he teams up with other heroes, and Thor 5 could embrace this idea while keeping the stakes high. The groundwork has already been laid with Hercules, whose introduction in Love and Thunder's post-credit scene teases a thrilling rivalry. Brett Goldstein's blend of comedy and drama makes him an ideal adversary, ensuring their clash will be both intense and entertaining. By weaving together these elements, Hercules' grudge, the looming threat of Sentry, and echoes of the Siege storyline, Thor 5 could become the ultimate blend of humor, drama, and action, finally delivering the Thor movie fans have been waiting for. And that's it for today's breakdown. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe for more updates, including what could kick off the Mechu Mutant saga and what's next for the Inhumans. Let us know your thoughts in the comments, and we'll catch you in the next one.